permettez, passer la parole. Est-ce que le représentant de Florence est là? À vous la parole, madame. Je vous en prie, allez-y.
Thank you. Good evening to everybody. It's a great honor for me to be here as representative for the city of Florence to celebrate such an important event, which indeed is a further occasion to renew the bond between our cities and carrying forward a long relationship made by reciprocity of privileged cooperation between two cities of different nations that, however, have more similarities than what we can imagine. There are in fact many points of contact between Florence and our twin cities Fes, one of the most dynamic and richest cities in North Africa, concerning tourism, conservation of cultural heritage, crafts and commerce. Both our cities are important cultural centers, highlights on education and asset universities. Both of them invest in cultural policies and heritage, which represent assets for their communities' project into the future thanks to a great attention to innovation, environment, social and economic development. We both bear the privilege of a glorious past that, like every privilege, is a responsibility for a better present and future. The same Giorgio La Pira, the Florence mayor who signed the twinning agreement in 1961 with the former mayor of Fes, Ben Salim El Cohen, while founding the Mediterranean dialogues, said that the Mediterranean people have a common destiny. He was the first mayor who realized the importance and geopolitical role of the Mediterranean basin as a nervous center of world peace. And today we are here, keep staying on his path, designed by him, improving and implementing through the intensification of economic relations with constant reference to a common action for peace, solidarity, and the meeting between peoples. As deputy mayor of economic development in Florence, I strongly support the development of business and the entrepreneurial environment with a multicultural perspective. Cities play an important role in economic development. They are the driving forces for growth, starting from the local brick to the national and even international building. Our presence here today is a demonstration of that. Considering the peculiarities of Florence as a city of art, where citizens and workers have to share the city center with around 10 million of tourists per year, our administration worked towards the inclusion of cultural heritage as a central feature of community and economic revitalization. The continuous growth of tourist flows constitutes a threat to the conservation of Florence's values based mainly on historical activities. This condition pushed us towards a reflection on what were the instruments that we, as local authorities, had at our disposal to influence the economic development of our city towards citizens' livability. How could we place a limit on homologated offer, thus fostering craft activities which have always characterized our city center? The result was a 3-year block in its historic center, recognized as World Heritage Site by UNESCO, for new openings of restaurants, bars, convenience stores, and any other supplies and food business. We are able to measure already some effect of this action. Rental prices have decreased, and the opening of new artisan shops have increased. Parallel to the provision of new openings in the historic center, the openings of new business in the neighborhood have increased, thus achieving another object that the municipal administration has set itself, namely the development and the revitalization of our suburbs. As an effect, cities of Rome and Venice have also adopted a similar provision, a demonstration of how much we can learn from the interaction between different models of local policy and how precious becomes the exchange of best practices among cities facing similar challenges for our work. Continuing on this path, we are working to reshape Florence's image, highlighting the importance of its craftsmanship, trying to go behind the iconic status and work of art that everybody associates with the Tuscan cities. In order to fight the extinction of highly skilled traditional craftsmen in response to the proliferation of mechanized, globalized production, we are developing focus project, apps designed for these activities, call and facilitation in order to attract and develop new talents, courses to implement skills to create business model, facilities for municipal real estate tax specifically addressed to these categories. Alongside, we are almost ready to present Florence's new plan for the itinerant trade, where we act toward the reshaping of Florence's market image with a primal focus on quality. If on one side it's true that local governance at city level is the first to suffer the impact of crisis, and that cities and their measures are on the front line to deal with everyday issues, it's also true, on the other side, that the level of local governance allow a more efficient dialogue between communities than what the complexity of state levels can allow between countries and national government. In this sense, the diplomacy of cities becomes for all of us a fundamental strategic tool to compare solutions, share know-how, test and implement better practices that can be constantly improved, thanks to the immediate feedback we have from our communities. Following Florence's major Lux visit in September 2017, we started working together on some concrete action that bring about interesting prospects for both the two cities. Florence and Fes have a chance to become a mutual bridge for the companies, as well as an hub attracting business for further economic cooperation, in particular in the sector of smart cities, public lighting, garbage collection and handcraft. Florence shared this arch craftsman tradition with Fes, and we would like to further develop moments of exchange where our excellence merge and meld, creating a better connection and cooperation among the institutions of the country through intercultural dialogue. We host one of the biggest international events for craftsmanship, the International Handicrafts Trade Fair, and we are working in order that during the 2019 edition, Fes will be our guest of honor. We are negotiating with Fes an agreement for the strengthening of our twinning, and the Mayor of Fes will be our host at the global major conference, Unity in Diversities, that we host every autumn in Florence, and this year will be preceded by Conference of European Capitals of Culture. On behalf of the city that I represent, I am particularly grateful to you all for this chance to renew our bond, in the belief that economic growth and cultural policies are the premises of peace and stability, and that dialogue between cities and local government is certainly the most efficient way to reach these goals. We are open to establish new trade outlets to mutually sponsor the best practice of the Florence and Fes systems, and we support with conviction synergies in both the public and private sector in order to foster investment opportunities following the agreement signed last year by our trade association Confindustria, and the most importantly representative of the Association of the Industries, Craft and Trade in the region of Fes. We are sure that the participative way made of mutual collaboration will ensure results and open up market opportunities and grounds where our business communities can interact, work on concrete opportunities, and contribute to the development and sustainable development starting from the cities. I do look forward to serve this purpose together with you all and to be up the challenge. Thank you.